couple of days ago, I was listening to a sort of playlist of 2021 sort of singers, like hit songs, and one of the things that struck me when I was listening to, especially the female artists, there was a few people that I recognized because I've heard them on the radio: Summer Walker, Arnie Lennox, um,
Queen
um,
Naja, all these singers.
yes, yeah, the Doja Cat or something like that. So there's a few that
Yeah,
I've recognized, but one of the things that struck me is that when I didn't hear the songs that I knew, even her, I didn't know who was singing because it sounded like anyone else. Um, they sang in the same type of you know how Ariana Grande kind of sings in a sort of a range where they're almost mumbling what they're saying, that you can't really pick up what they're saying. and and I was like, wow, this is so different than when and you know, we're not going to, like, it's not about me harking back to the 90s, but if Ashanti sang, I knew it was different than Mary, and when Mary sang, I knew it was different from Faith. You know, there was very distinct
right.
tones in their vocals that you could hear and know that they were very different. It seems if a lot of female artists now, even SZA or stuff, they sound so alike that
Right.
if you don't necessarily know the song, you're going to be struggle to know who's really singing. And it's it's the same thing with the men to some extent.
Yeah.
Even the hip hop artists, like people like Future and Travis Scott, you can I think they saw success of Drake singing, rapping, and they all started to do that. And but mainly I was wanting to focus on the females, that it's such a crying shame that, and they almost, and they all, and I think the new phase is to sing about very X-rated songs, almost, you know, making Two Live Crew look like they were nuns or so, back in the day. The way they're singing about stuff now, they're very explicit, almost like, well, it worked for Cardi B, might as well do that in a, and I'm just like, and it's not me being some old man thinking, oh goodness, you know, let's go back to the 60s and 50s or 70s, and that's
No,
when
you and me
music
are on the
was
same
great.
page.
No,
Yeah.
but it's more so like, wow, goodness, okay, I wanted to give it a try. I wanted to say, let me sit down, and there's some good catchy tracks, but the fact that there's no uniqueness, there's no real identity to these artists, especially the females, has got me sort of saying, wow, this is not great. And maybe, yes, you could say they're not making the music for me, but shouldn't we celebrate individuality? Shouldn't we not celebrate talent and being able to stand there and sing and be different from the other person and be celebrated with that? And as I said, you know, you're more of a singer songwriter, so you probably might have a more of an understanding as to why they all sound the same as compared to what we're used to.
Well, I'm going to pull from a famous saying that you like to say here all the time. Um, Record companies are not a charity. No, the point is that when record companies see something that work, they're gonna reproduce it. And right now, a lot of these companies, it's so many different reasons for this. A lot of the companies, you know, they're just following and tracking everything that works. And a lot of these singers, they're going to the same producers. Producers are using the same type of techniques and software and different things to produce the vocals and everything. Also, you know, social media, they sell it as if it's celebrating individuality, but it's actually creating um, mass. It's almost creating less individuality because everybody's looking to Instagram or looking to Facebook as to what everyone else is doing, and it's creating this. This is what's cool. This is what's popular. This is what works. If I want to do this, I got to follow this person. I got to
Mm.
do what they're doing. You also have those same celebrities selling these dreams that, oh, follow your dreams. Oh, just work hard and all these different things. And so it's kind of like it's so many different layers to it. We did have variety in the 90s. We did have different vocalists with different styles
Mm.
in the 80s and the 70s and going back. But we also did have the copycats, but it was still enough variety to where, you could find the lanes that you like to drive in.
Yeah.
With this new group and crop, I think that the labels have signed. I think it's also how many R&B artists that the labels have signed. R&B is not the top tier genre right now that's bringing all the money. So there's a smaller pool of R&B artists to go for that are pushed by the labels, and so that means you're gonna just hear what works. So if Summer Walker or SZA, if SZA has a successful record, everybody's going to sound like SZA. If Bryson Tiller, you remember when Bryson Tiller came out, then everybody started sounding like Bryson Tiller. It's no longer, they don't have the infrastructure or the staff or whatever anymore like they used to, because they scaled down to be able to develop and diversify their talent. So they're more so just chasing what makes money, what's hot. It's the music company, music companies catching up to whatever is dictated is hot through the social media things and all of that stuff like that. So there's so many different layers to that question, but it didn't just start like last year. Like, this has been something that's going on since for a while now. I remember when Destiny Child came out and that whole sound that they had, that Shakespeare candy sound, when they had those like bills and
Yeah.
the No Scrubs and all of that. All of the songs started, a lot of people were kind of copying that sound and recording songs that sound in the same rap singing kind of way. And everyone from Boys to Men was doing it. Just every new artist came out, they had that weird robotic sound, and it started to go from there. All of the soul started to be sucked out of the music, and it started to become more paint by numbers and robotic. So unfortunately, like I said, it's the music of today has become very boring and predictable. And every now and again we'll get a artist that is able to kind of go against the grain, mainstream wise, commercial wise, like Bruno Mars, or but it is what it is. I mean, we do have Janae. We never talk about Janelle Monáe. Is that her name? Because I don't really follow her a lot, but she's another one that made a career off of being different. And
Yeah, I've seen a
there
couple
are
of.
other different.
Yeah, I mean, she does good shows, good concerts. She goes between acting and singing. Maybe the acting pays the bills, so the music is just for fun. She has
Yeah,
a bit of a Prince vibe with her. Um, but I don't know if you told me one of her tracks, I could tell you any of her
she's another
songs.
one of those. She's
Yeah.
another one of those. So
I mean, but as I said, she's one of that. If she was on tour, you'd go and watch her perform. But would you? Would you? It's yeah. But to say this is a song that she's released and this is one of her top songs, it's yeah. It is
Tightrope.
different.
I do remember Tightrope only because she was dancing in a style of like James Brown to that song, and that's
Yeah,
one of
that's what
the
I'm
songs
saying. So she has
I
that
like.
Prince and
Yeah.
James Brown sort of um
But what it's
look.
going to take is someone is going to have to come through, just like a Jodeci or an Usher or even a Beyonce. I mean, I say what I say about Destiny Child, but the style of vocals that she came out with, a lot of people were trying to emulate. So it's just going to have to be someone that comes out with a cool new way to reintroduce singing, because what I really miss in male R&B is deep voices. Everybody, all of the male singers have this real whiny, thin voice now, and there's no variety in the vocals. And the women, they have these real light, airy, talk, almost talk singing type voices.
Yeah.
So you don't have the heavy voices anymore. So yeah.
Yeah.